Hi there, this is Mike Fear. Now You're Cooking. Welcome to the Thursday night demo. Tonight we are doing a shallot balsamic jam. Most jams, I always have jam with clotted cream on a scone, but this is not one of those jams. This is a jam you probably want to put on something savory, a hamburger, or I think it's going to be awesome with cheddar cheese. So we'll get started. Here I'm in our new kitchen. Here it's a little peek preview of the kitchen. It's really lovely. We haven't really moved in, but I've just camped in here for today. We have induction stove here, and I've got my pot on there, and I've just got it warming up, and I'm going to throw a tablespoon of butter right in there and let that melt, and it's just going to melt easy there, and that gives me time to actually get the shallots. Now, how do you say shallot? Do you say shallot or do you say shallot? My mother would always refer to this as a shallot. So one way to chop these up, because we want them nice and fine, is to use a lovely knife. This is a beautiful knife made in Japan. We have a bunch of them on a hot sale, and I recommend it highly. And so I'm going to show you how we can cut this shallot up, or shallot. I'm going to cut one way, and I'm going to cut another way, and then I'm just going to, and as you see, I'm getting nice little pieces of shallot, and try not to get any pieces of me. It's a nice sharp knife. And then this last piece, I'm just going to put in the compost bucket here. So that's how we can cut it up using a nice knife. I have a slightly quicker way, and that's using a little tool here. It's a little chopper type tool, and I just throw my shallot in there, and I pull on the string, and lo and behold, it's chopped it up. I'm going to give it a couple more pulls, and then I'm going to throw it in here with the rest of my if you see me start to cry, it's because I don't have my onion goggles on. And so here we go. And I'm going to turn up my heat. I'm going to start putting the butter's melted. I'm going to start putting this in here. As I say, this is brand new induction stove. Never cooked with one like this before, so I'm used to gas. And I'll just do a little bit more here. And so there's a variety of other tools you can use for chopping up. And we also have, if you are going to have tears, we do have onion goggles. I just didn't put mine on. And okay. The other thing I'm going to throw in here is a couple of sprigs of thyme, and the thyme is going to come back out after we put everything in. And okay, so shallot is an interesting vegetable. It's not an onion, it's not a piece of garlic, and it's got a very pretty color. And it's such a pretty color that Le Creuset decided that they were going to come up with their next color was going to be shallot. And so you'll see right here I'm using little baker here, which is it's the shallot color. And right over here, you see some more pieces. We've just got in our first pieces today, actually, and you'll see how beautiful it is. Cooks beautifully, and handsome is as handsome does, as they say. And talking about handsome is as big one. I am. Oh my goodness! Look at that. Awesome. I think I'll use this. One of the interesting things, by the way, as I am cooking away, and I'm going to turn it up even more. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. One of the great things about this stove is I'm not going to burn myself here, because the actual stove is not hot. It's the pot that's hot. Induction is becoming much more acceptable. Harder to burn things. If I happen to leave that piece of cloth there, it's not going to catch fire like it would on my gas stove. So this is it's very exciting. I'm very excited by this, and so we'll be able to use anything on here as long as it's magnetic. So this pot obviously is magnetic. This one, which is made in Germany, this is a fabulous pot. I could have used this one tonight. This is called Fistler, and if you're ever looking for a stock pot any size, the Fistler is just outstanding. Has a great tight-fitting lid, all the measurements, works really wonderfully on induction. And of course, Le Creuset, the cast iron. Any cast iron will work beautifully on here. So that shallot oven right over there, that's going to be very effective on this induction. And we see here, as we move the cheese, that we want to put the shallot jam on later. You see what a beautiful color it is, and really does match the shallots. So I'm going to add here shortly to this jam, I'm going to add some brown sugar. So we poked around, and we haven't used the kitchen in so long that when we found our brown sugar, it was hard as a brick. And so I had to pop out and find some more sugar. Well, it wouldn't be hard as a brick if we had used what some of you may know, a brown sugar bear. So these pups, you can just soak them in water, and then you'll pop them into the container with your brown sugar. And there are a few different things you can do. You could use this one, and this one actually, you can actually get a piece that fits right on there, specifically for brown sugar. Or we have right here this one that has the brown sugar tile built right in there, and it keeps your brown sugar nice and soft. So so shortly I'm going to do that with this sugar, but right now I'm going to grab half a cup of sugar, nice and soft, and pack it nicely down in there. And there we go. And this is cooking nicely. Very simple, just a little bit of butter and our shallot. I say shallot. There used to be a joke in England, as the carrot said to the onion, "That's shallot." And it's not funny here because you say shallot. And so half a cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to pop that into the mix. And we're going to let that mix that in nicely. And the thyme is actually smelling quite nice, and then we're going to add 1 cup and our fabulous balsamic vinegar. We sell this in the store. It just goes like gangbusters. I've got one person who says she sips it every night, so it's that tasty. I'm going to pour that right in. There we go. Ooh, smells wonderful. Okay. Now we're going to let that cook down some more. Okay. So one of the things that happens when you are working with shallots or onions or anything like that, your hands can be pretty stinky. Working with anything, fishy or oniony or whatever. So we now have this fabulous product in the store. It's called Fisherman's Hand Scrub, and it takes all the odors away. It really cleans your hands nicely, and there's no smell. It's called the Fisherman's Hand Scrub because fishermen love it. And we've added to our collection. They've got a pack here. We've got the hand cream, and we've got the kelp and seed scrub bar. If you want to make sure your hands are nice and smelling sweet, that's the stuff. And keep on. Check my. So that's going to take maybe another 10 minutes here. So talking about making your hands kind of smelly, we're coming to the summer season, and I find whenever in the summer, I'm ready for lobster. And when you've eaten that lobster, your hands are pretty, so this is great for that. But we have some things I wanted to show you that are brand new from OXO. This is going to be fantastic for when you want to open up the lobster. So you get those hard shells. This pup is going to be absolutely awesome. And then we've got this one right here, brand new from OXO. As many of you know, my son Sam works for OXO, and he's been a product developer. Well, they come up with some fabulous items, and this is just perfect for coastal Maine. I was also talking to somebody who sells oysters, and they were saying, oh, I wish you had those wooden-handled oyster knives. Well, we do have them. They're the Dexter oyster knife. They're really awesome. Everybody's now getting into opening their own oysters. By the way, if you don't care to open your own oysters, we are going to be seeing an oyster bar opening up right here in Bath. On Commercial Street. It's just going to be I think it's going to be opening up next month. And so if you just want a few bubbles and some oysters, it's going to be great. Of course, oysters are available a lot of places. But if you want to do your own oysters, then we have the equipment, we have the plates, we have the oyster openers. So while this is continuing to kind of caramelize, let me tell you about spring into summer. I think I haven't even got a poster that I can quickly show you here. So spring into summer is going to be a fabulous event. We do it every year, third weekend in May. And from a point of view of Now You're Cooking, we're going to be having a tent sale right out on the Customs House lawn, so we'll be involved. But there's going to be lots of sales, lots of things going on. Certainly make a point of going to the Maritime Museum. They have their big open house that day, and so there'll be plenty for you to do. We'll have some really awesome deals on Le Creuset. So if you were impressed with our new shallot Le Creuset, you'll be able to come and get your own. So this continues to cook down. When it gets more jam-like, before it gets more jam, so maybe that's what's going to happen. You see it's getting nice and jammy. Oh, there it is. I found it. The other thing that will be happening on that, whoop, pressed the wrong button, turned it off. And there we go. Here. So we'll be having wine tasting in the kitchen here. So it'll be a good opportunity for you to check out the kitchen and check out some super wines. We're going to have probably 4 wines here, very nicely priced. What else can I tell you about spring into summer? Oh, so we could have this jam with a lovely cheddar cheese on some crackers. Incidentally, those crackers come from Bath, England, my home territory. And then, and actually the cheese comes from Dorset, the next county over from where I live. I live in Somerset. And so coastal cheddar, just a phenomenal cheese, really a true cheddar cheese. This is a Grunewaldliner, and then we also have a white Côte d'Aron. Either of these would be super. They're dry. They've got great minerality, and they would just go with the cheese and this jam. It's starting to look quite jammy now. Once you've made this, you can just pop it into jars, and I recommend you refrigerate it. You don't have to can it per se, but if you just, it's going to basically, with all this vinegar, it's going to be fine for a long period of time, and you can just use it whenever you want to. I would love to find another device here. Oh, maybe I'll use the big spoon. I'm just curious how it's not quite jammy enough yet, but it's working its way there. I'm just going to try to pull it a little out, put on my tasting spoon here, and let it cool down a little bit. And this is where I smile and say, this is wonderful. And so it reminds me, it's a little sweeter, but it reminds me a lot of pickled onions when I grew up in England. We would always serve pickled onions with cheddar cheese and a big hunk of bread. It's called a ploughman's lunch. And that's just, it's got that kind of same flavor to it. A bit more balsamic-y, but really good. This is going to cook for a little bit longer, and I don't think you need to stay and watch me do that. Again, just want to say how fantastic this stove is. If I pick this up, there's no gas flame here, and it's going to now say, oh, there's no pot here, so I'm going to turn off. So it's very intuitive. So if you've ever wondered about induction, certainly come in and chat with us. And now it's just turned back on again, because now it senses the pot is right there. So we'll look forward to seeing you. Will we see you next week? I'm looking for a prompt. Yes, next week, and we have.
Next week is
That's right. So Wednesday at 5 o'clock, John Stanton is going to be making
dairy-free lemon bars.
Gluten-free, lemon-free, no, dairy-free lemon bars. They're not lemon-free. They've got lots of lemon in them, but they're dairy-free and they're gluten-free. And it's John Stanton, who we all love. And so we'll look forward to seeing you then. And if you have any questions, stop in and come see us. And don't forget to have some cheese with your lovely balsamic shallot jam.